All right, last time we talked about the garments. God is speaking to Moses, and he's saying, take to you Aaron, your brother, that Banavito and his sons with him. Who are his sons? He had 4 sons. 2 of them are going to get killed in a tragic accident. And the first day that the temple opens up in the desert, tabernacle. In any case, it says, take your sons with you, at Banavito, mitoch bnei Yisrael, from the Jewish people, Lakanoli, to me, be Cohanim to me. Aaron, Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, V'Tamar, bnei Aaron. Now, before the Jewish people sinned with the golden calf, the Cohanim, the priests, those were the firstborn. And when the Jewish people sinned with the golden calf, which is right after the giving of the Torah, like the first, 40 days after the Torah was given, or after 40 days after Moses went up on Mount Sinai, after they got the 10 commandments. So all that time, the firstborn, they were the ones that were the Kohanim. And then it changed. So now God is saying, you're going to make the Kohanim, this is going to be Aaron and his 4 sons. Aaron and his 4 sons, they're going to be the Kohanim. Who are they? Nadav, Avihu. Those are the 2 that are going to be, they're going to rush into the Holy Temple the first day that it's made, and they're going to die. Elazar, V'Tamar, these are the sons of Aaron. So it says the Ramban says, why does God say, just say, take your sons? They only had 4 sons. He says, Shalo Yachshav, you shouldn't think that when his father was anointed to be the Kohen, Lakano, to be a Kohen, you are banim ha'elu kohanim, that the sons would automatically become Kohanim. Ella avul behem atzmo, avul lehem atzmo yichahen, that they themselves will be Kohanim. In a Yotza Pinchas, so Pinchas and Avi Nolim, so in other words, only these will be Kohanim, but Pinchas and all those people who were born afterwards, after this Shalom nit Kohanim, Rak Elu, Arba Meshichim Imo. It says so. It wasn't automatic that Aaron became the Kohen, and he had to bring all these others with him. But you should know that only these that were born at this time, right, that they were anointed together with Aaron and his sons, they became Kohanim. But like Pinchas and all those others, that they weren't anointed. Now, when did this all happen? This happened right in the beginning of the after the giving of the Torah. After the giving of the Torah. So there's the story about Pinchas. We'll see the story about Pinchas. That he jumps in and he becomes a Kohen. He wasn't really made a Kohen. Why? Because he wasn't anointed together with them. It says here, that's what it says. Yotza Pinchas, this excludes Pinchas and all of the others that were born. Shalom nitkonu rak ele arba hameshichim imo. Only these 4. Ve'moladatam asher yaldu achrein, and those who were born afterwards. In other words, those people who were not anointed together with Moshe or their relatives that came afterwards, they weren't considered to be Kohanim. That's going to be one of the big arguments with Korach also. That Korach was not anointed to be a Kohen, even though he thought he should have been there, but God said that he shouldn't. So we're going to learn the story about Korach. Came out a tremendously tragic result from this. Okay. So you should make the garments, the holy garments, to Aaron your brother, the kavod or the tiforet, for honor and for beauty. Now, what does it mean for honor and for beauty? Just make the garments. What does it mean to have honor and beauty? So the Ramban asked this question. Should it should be beautiful? Oh, no, that's the Or HaChaim that asked the question. Here, the Or HaChaim asked the question. But it says they should be beautiful, like it says, Kachatan Yekahen Pa'er. This was like the day of the birthday of the Jewish people and God. When the temple, when they started working in the temple. These garments are also like for a king. Like it says, Yobashu Malchus Bizmana Torah. Like it, the Cohanim, like the kings used to put on. Kamosha Metzinu Bakuna Ve'aseh Katonet Pasim. Like it also says the same thing by Yosef, that his brother made him a special garment, Shapirushu Marukma Mekama Pasim, that had to be made from many colors. Now we're going to see that these were not made from just regular strands. There were many, many strands that were woven into each and every thread. That's what's called the Katonet Tashbates. We're going to learn about the Katonet Tashbates. It's like a gown that they wore. Like I explained before, this is what they used to put on kings. So this is the garment of the kings. Like I told you yesterday, this also fixes up the sin of the tree of knowledge. When Adam ate from the tree of knowledge, so God said, put on garments. Before that, it says they were naked and they were not ashamed. And then, as soon as he ate from the tree of knowledge, so they became ashamed of their nakedness. In other words, they became ashamed that their body was able to be a vehicle to take them away from God, to do what God didn't want. They did the opposite of what God wanted. God asked them to do this, and they did the opposite. So these garments come to fix that up. The garments that Adam and Eve put on. So the Orach Chaim, he asked briefly, it says, we have to understand, Mahi Kavanas Hashem. What does it mean? God said, the kavod of the tiforet. What does it mean for honor and for beauty? God should have just told us what to put on. What does it mean that you have to put them on for honor and for beauty? What is this honor? Kavod of the tiferet. What does it mean? Aaron kavod tiferet. Just to let you know that Aaron had honor and beauty from them. What do we care? It was for him. It was for beauty. Who really saw it? But maybe we can explain it like this. Says the Orach Chaim. The Orach Chaim is essentially saying, listen, I don't really know either, but I'll maybe you can answer it like this. V'zelashona says, they asked Rabbi Akiva, what did Moses serve in the seventh day of Miluim? Now, how did it go in the temple? Like I said, the tabernacle was made. The tabernacle was made and after the giving of the Torah, right? And it opened up. It opened up on the first day of Nisan, like almost 1 year after the Torah was given, almost 1 year after they got out of Egypt. They got out of Egypt on the 15th of Nisan. Well, the next year, on the first day of Nisan, there was 2 years, 1 year missing 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks before the anniversary, first anniversary of leaving Egypt, as that's when the tabernacle opened up. It opened up, and that's when they started to serve. That's when Aaron started to serve. But there were what were called the days of inauguration, the 7 days of inauguration. 7 days that they inaugurated the tabernacle. So who was the Kohen then? So he says, well, the Kohen, that was Moses. Moses, he was the Kohen. He was the Kohen. That's what God said, especially Moses, you're going to be the Kohen. So the question was asked in the Gemara, well, what garments did he wear? I mean, these garments were only commanded to Aaron. God commanded the garments to be worn to Aaron. Some people say that God commanded our garments should be worn to Aaron on the day that the tabernacle opened up. Here, let's see, it says over here. That it was on the day that it opened up. Where does it say? it says, here it says, Rashi is the one. And now take Aaron, it says, this is after it was finished. All of the work of the Mishkan had not been put together. But after it had been finished, that's when, it was right before Aaron started to work, and he was given these. Okay, now the question is, before the Mishkan was made, so therefore it says that Moses, he made sacrifices before the whole thing was finished. And only on the 8th day was it actually open for business. But it was still there. Who was the one that worked on it? So it said that Moses one that worked on it. Here it says. Ask Rabbi Akiva, what did Moshe do these 7 days of the inauguration, before the first day of Nisan, before it opened up? It says, Loya be a day. He said that Rabbi Akiva didn't know. Asa B'Shal Bey Midrash. So he went to the house of learning and he asked them. And they said, B'chaluk Lavan she'en bo imra adkan. He said that Moses worked, he did all the work in the tabernacle before the final inauguration day. There were 7 days of inauguration that preceded the inauguration. In these 7 days, he worked with a simple white garment that didn't have any rim to it. The fact that Moses did in this, it tells us that these garments are not essential except for Aaron and his sons. But except for that, except for those Cohanim, the other regular Cohanim, their work could be done without their special garments. And that's what we said before. Kavod means, don't think that these garments, they were needed for service. No, they weren't necessary for the service. This was only, because if so, Moshe would have put them on. These are only just for honor and for beauty. That's the only reason that they were put on, that Aaron needed them. Even though later on it says that if they were choser begadim, it wouldn't work, but that's okay. Anyway, these are the garments that have to be made. And we looked at it a little bit yesterday. Elu begadim asher yasu choshen, ephod, me'il, katonet tashbeitz, mitznefes va'avnet, va'asu bigdei kodesh la'aron achicha lekavod for us. Well, what are these garments? A choshen, an ephod, ha'me'il, hakatonet. Let's see these garments. Now, I already had this listed over here. Let's try to see if we can find this again. Okay, here we go. Let's take first of all these: the choshen, the ephod, me'il, and the katonis tashbeitz. Ready here. See if I can get to this picture. I'm trying to get to these pictures. I put pictures down, and it should work, but it's not. It's not working. 1 second. There it is. That's what I had to do. That is what I had to do. Huh. There it is. Good. Here. This is okay, we showed this the last time. Here, this is what's called the avnate. And it's also mishbetzet. What's it, mishbetzet? There was golden strings in here also. There were golden strings. So if we look at the explanation, I don't know exactly how to integrate this so we can look at both of them at the same time. But this is what's called the tashbetz, and this was worn by the Kohen. We can have a little picture of it over here. Here, see? This is the tashbetz here. And he would put on top of it, the migbat, the hat. This thing was called the choshen. Can you see it clearly? You can't see it because, let's see, we had the pictures yesterday. Here. Oh, there it is. Here's a picture. It'd be nice if it was a little bit lighter. I don't know how to make it lighter. I think there's a way. There is a way, but I don't know what it is now. Huh. All right. There, okay. Picture is not as bright as it could be, but it's much better than nothing here. Make it bigger. All right, so this is the me'il. On the me'il, there was put the choshen. This thing is the choshen. This is the ephod. This is the ephod. It was made also with golden strands. This was the choshen. Now on the choshen, there were written the names of the Jewish tribes. And let's see if we can find, well, we can't see it in the thing at the same time. And the first one was written Reuven, Shimon, Levi, in the order that they were born. Yehuda, Yisachar, Zevulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Yosef, and Benjamin. Now, there were a few letters that were missing. And here we have Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov is written over here. And here is written Benjamin, Shivte, Yudke. It's written Shivte. And what they would do, there was a way that the Kohen, it said you would ask him questions. It had to be an important question. It had to be important people. They would ask him questions. And according to the way these things would light up, as the Kohen would know how to interpret it, and he would know what things are going to be in the future. Like, should I invest? Should I go? Should I not go? And he would be able to get answers from the Urim and Tumim. Now, inside of here was placed, let's see if we can find it, with the name of God. Do we have it over here? No, I don't think we have a picture of it. Here in this fold here was put a parchment with the name of God written on. One of the names of God was written on it. It was put inside. Right? And that really was called the Urim and the Tumim. That was called the Urim and the Tumim. And these were the stones that were written. Now there was also two other stones that were written here, over here. One second. No. That's like we said, that was the Katonis that we talked about. All right, here we have, here there were also stones that were over here. There were also stones that were here with the names written on them as well. With the names of the tribes written there also. Okay, so we can just look in a short way. Here, this is the mitznefes. This is the turban. There was the tzitz that was written on, it said there was written the name of God was also written on it. This was also called a migbot. This is a regular coin. The regular coin had a different type of a hat. It's called a migbat. He had an avnate. The avnate was very, very long. It was a thing, and we can see a picture of it. This is the regular coin. This is the regular coin. And this is the coin gadol. This is the great coin. So the great coin had more garments, in addition to the fact that he had what we call the tzitz. So we can get this picture of the tzitz we had. Right, this is the hat of the regular coin, and this was called a migbat, and this was called a mitznefet. And these were the michnasei bat. These were the pants of silk, and of silk. That's right, that they wore. I'm sorry, not silk. Of what's it called? Linen. Linen. This was the avnate, the belt that they wore. This belt was very long. Got a picture of it here. Here. This is the avnate. The avnate worn around, it was 32 amos long, which means about 40 feet long. This was 40 feet long. So they wrapped it around many, many times. Here's the tzitz that I spoke to. Here's the tzitz. It was worn around the head. This is Kodesh Lashem. When he would wear this, it would forgive for several different types of sins that they, so long could, especially sins that were done in the sacrifices that were done by accident. Certain sins were done by accident. So these are essentially the garments that we have, right? So this is the ephod. These are the pants, and this is the katonet that we see underneath. This was the me'il. The ephod is this thing. It's worn here. This is the cheshev ephod, even though it doesn't have it. That's this belt that goes around there. And then there's the mitznefes, and the tzitz would go over here on top of his head. And this was the choshen and the urim and the tumim. These were essentially the garments that the Cohanim would wear. The war on this, so let's go back now. Very good. Okay, so we've learned. Turn this off. All right, good. Now we're going back. These are the garments that should be made. That's what we said, the choshen and the me'il. We talked about that, showed you pictures of it. The choshen, the ephod, the me'il. The me'il was that what he wore over it. The katonet, that was the katonet, was the under garment. What do you want to call it? The under, like a cloak that he wore under it. And the tashbetz, it was made from tashbetz. It was made from woven with gold. The mitznefetz, that was the hat, the avnate, the belt. You have to make holy garments for Aaron and his brother. And now he explains what it is. The choshen, says Rashi, that's that square thing that's near the heart. And the ephod, he says, I don't know what this is, but anyway, so he explains, it's what I showed you. The me'il and the tashbetz and the mitznefes and the avnei, those are the things that I already explained to you. They should take the gold and this and the argomon and the kli and the shesh. It says they should take from those people who gave donations, they should take from them, like we had before. Okay, so here he says, Sheish Mazor, this is the gematria of 32 strands that were made of. It was wound from 32 different strands, each and every each and every thread was written. All right, and we'll continue with these tomorrow. We'll continue with the garments, and I'll show you exactly what is implied by all these garments tomorrow. Good. So that will stop. That'll be the class for today.